This is the beginning of the new series that we're going to launch. It's called the Actually series, okay? I'm only going to speak on things that I'm qualified to speak on, and I'm never going to have any fluff coming at you. I'm never going to have anything that I have not already done myself or are doing myself consistently day to day. So episode 1, how to actually sign your next or first 5 amazing high ticket clients from today. Now let's be real for a second. Most online businesses, most agencies, most founders do end up failing one way or another simply because they do not have the solution to predictably and consistently sign high ticket clients week on week, month on month, also while maintaining LTV and lifetime retention within those same clients. My name is Adam Power. You might have heard my previous video where I spoke about how I got fired 5 times in 2 years to starting my own agency, waking up 5.5 years later and having a 7-figure run rate within the clients that I had at that specific time. Now, it did not start that way. My first client was 360 euros a month. And listen guys, I was working around the clock for that. This was 2016. Today, I'm going to show you the exact process I've been using for the last 8.5 years to sign clients, partner with companies, and make it mutually beneficial from day one. No theory, no what should work, but what actually works day to day and what actually works for hundreds of entrepreneurs, founders, and agency owners that I speak to every single day. If you're starting out from ground zero, or if you are going from the feast to the famine era when you're signing loads of clients and then not having the LTV from those same clients on the back end, this is for you. Because let me tell you, the difference between stuck, just having your salary replaced with lots more stress, or hitting 20K per month and beyond all the way to a 7-figure run rate within your online business, the first or next 5 clients is what's going to shape you to get there. Now, back in 2016, when I first started, I had minimal guidance, guys, okay? I just discovered what LinkedIn was. I was manually finding the owner's email, sending them an email that I would personally write. I was sending LinkedIn messages. I was sending messages on Twitter. It was rough. It was a rough patch of rejection after rejection after rejection. Then, after months upon months of getting told no every single day, eventually I got that first yes. This is the moment that changed my life. Now, from that moment, I got busy with the work, okay? I started running out of time throughout the day to consistently do all the manual outreach, consistently trying to learn and master my skill set, and consistently over-deliver for this current client. Now, this was at one client. Now, I knew I had to bring a lot of structure to my day, and that's exactly what I did. But that's not what I see a lot of people doing at the minute. They get their first 1 or 2 clients, they get their first 2 or 3 clients, and they stop the actual growth phase. You never stop becoming an operator that's growing. You gotta grow what you have. And just because you got the first couple of yeses, that does not mean that you stop what you've been doing to grow for the past number of weeks and months and start delivering to maintain. The second you go on the defense of maintenance and not on the offense of growth, you start to slowly slow down. And it's the slowing down that creates inconsistency, and it's the inconsistency that kills agencies and service-based offers online. All of a sudden, you lose a client, you're back to ground zero again, hustling and hustling and hustling to try to replace that same client. And you do so, and you go into this spiraling cycle. I see some people in this cycle for years on end, but it doesn't need to be that way whatsoever. Now, back to this Actually series. What I see online for what works in reality is very different. A lot of people will just say, oh, keep creating content, keep sending cold emails, keep doing cold calls, keep the LinkedIn automation in the back end. And that's not enough. That is what will get you off the ground, but it's not what will create the consistency and the growth that you really need. The just network approach or the just create content approach, eventually getting eyeballs, you will eventually sign your first client. You will eventually sign your next client, but it does not get you out of the inconsistency cycle that you're already in without even knowing. Now, I remember feeling like such an imposter. Who am I? The person who failed school, lowest grades, got fired 5 times in 2 years, no business experience, never even knew what the term entrepreneur meant until I turned 20 years old. For me to go out into the marketplace and charge somebody for marketing services. But I had one thing that I need you to download today yourself, and that one thing is determination. It's the commitment and relentlessness to say, I'm making this happen, split decision, and you're not going to stop until you do. Now, after years and years and years of understanding what works and learning the hard way what does not work, I eventually realized it's not talent, it's not luck. It does have a skill effect, of course, never forget that, but it is also down to systems. It's a system that consistently and predictably signs you the perfect client that fits your avatar. Your offer, the outcome that the client needs to achieve, and the avatar of that client. A mutually beneficial partnership from day one. Now, I have two terms for what I'm about to tell you. Number one is the honest approach, and number two is the first framework. And this first framework to sign your next 5 clients will be exactly responsible for you signing your next 50. Now, most people at this stage get stuck trying to perfect the website, trying to perfect the brand, trying to get all this cool short form content, trying to get all the best lead magnets. You need to slow down for a second. Remember this, momentum beats perfection every time. Momentum is something you can't kill. It's an energetic force that's always with you or against you at all times. My mentor, who's Bob Proctor, always says what's not growing is dying. That comes down to momentum. Momentum is either going towards your goal or moving away from your goal. And your entire day should be all about bringing your momentum towards your goal. Now listen, your first couple of clients or your next couple of clients, they don't need to be your one-way ticket out of here. They don't need to be where you're in planning retirement, or they don't need to be where you're getting your first dream home or supercar. They don't even need to be your first 10K a month. They don't even need to be your salary replacement. They need to give you the case studies, the testimonials, the relationships, and most important, the confidence. The confidence and conviction that you will get in the future from delivering an A+ service now will serve you forever. This approach not only worked for me for the last 8.5 years, but it's worked for hundreds of people who I work with day to day right now that allow themselves to create the 3 pillars of freedom, leave their unhappy corporate position, or create a legacy and add purpose to their life. Now, I need you guys to follow these next steps to sign your next couple of clients and hopefully get on the right pathway to achieve success, whatever that is for you. Now, step 1, choose an offer. Understand what an offer is and how to communicate it. What outcome do you create for someone who's working with you? Forget about the full service, forget about the we do everything, forget about all that. You need to understand an outcome that you're creating, because you can never get the clear KPIs in order to see if this is working or not. Forget the marketing, forget the we do everything approach. You're going to create one simple outcome that all your clients are able to get a massive benefit from. So let's start narrow with one simple outcome that you're going to create for a partner or client that comes your way. And it's got to be black and white. We achieve this through this. We get you this via this. We take you from A to B. Here's 4 or 5 examples off the top of my head that allow you to achieve an outcome for a client. Acquisition of new customers. Leverage paid traffic across Facebook and Instagram to allow your clients to get new customers coming in. Everybody in the world right now desires more customers. If you can solve that bottleneck, create that outcome, you're off to a very good start. Retention or more lifetime value from the current clients. Leverage email marketing to deliver that. Once you're able to do that, if you can expand the lifetime value and expand the retention process of your client's business, you have a solid outcome that they'll massively benefit from. Listen guys, again, another example, Google Ads. Local service-based businesses, they need Google Ads. They need to be in the area, showing up ahead of all competition so that they can get new clientele into the business. Is this a law firm? Is it a car dealership? Is it a clinic? Is it a local restaurant or cafe? They all need to leverage the online world where the customer's attention is to get them into the location. Next, awareness. How can people get more eyeballs on their business? Social media content. You can leverage organic social media, create really good, compelling content that allows people to gain more awareness. After you expand that, you can use that awareness to track KPI in regards to profitability. Now, these are just 4 that come to mind. I can go on and on and on. I actually have 20+ different ways that people can actually learn how to create an income online. So I started with local advertising for businesses, and I positioned it as customers in the door. I was explaining the outcome that I was able to create back then for local people to come into your location. Starting from a barbershop, to an optician, to a recruitment firm, to restaurants and cafes, all the way down the line to everything you can think of, getting customers in the door leveraging Facebook advertising. Now, a massive pillar that allowed me to succeed back then was I understood something very logically. People want the outcome of customers. They didn't really care too much about the ads and what was going on in the back end. They cared about the profitability that the new clientele was bringing to their business. So your job is to create a results-focused and tangible outcome that every person you partner with gets. Without question, it's got to be so clear that you both work unanimously in that same direction to achieve this outcome. Remember, it's a partnership from day one. It's not just them outsourcing the load to you. It's a 50-50 partnership to achieve said outcome. If you think like this, you can't lose. Example, instead of selling email marketing, you're going to be selling recouped of lost revenue, double the LTV of your current clientele, expand ROI across the business as a whole from what they already have. When they acquire a new customer, you work with them along the way to achieve a bigger and better ROI, and you help them expand massively from what they already have. Step 2, target client identification. You don't just want to work with anybody. I understand how hungry you may be to get your first or next clients, but you need to understand you have to work with hungry partners on the other end, not someone who's just a box ticking exercise within their business, hoping you can work some sort of magic for them. No, after working with hundreds of people helping them achieve this, here's how you get a perfect client profile. Industry. If you don't have an idea of who your exact industry or client's going to be, you need to choose 3. Choose 3 umbrella industries, aka healthcare, fitness, and beauty. Automotive, healthcare, home improvement. Whatever that works for you, you choose 3 umbrellas and get to work. Next, out of this client profile, where do they need to be in order to be approved as a partner for you? Because remember, you're spending all your time mastering the outcome that you're going to create. You are becoming an expert at your skill set, expert in the marketplace. You are learning the ins and outs of how they can get the outcome that they desire. You need to find a business on the other end that's approved to get your first or next case study. What size do they have to be? What kind of team do they have to have? What kind of value do they have to bring to the marketplace? If you send them 10 of their dream clients right now, can they fulfill? The last thing one of your partners needs is another 100 leads to the CRM that they're already not working. Next is their pain points. You need to discover what actual pain points do they have that you can overcome. For me, over the past number of years, it's always been in e-commerce. Our clients did not know how to acquire customers at scale profitably and maximize the LTV of these same customers. They needed direct ROI. They needed the highest impact ROI to continuously grow, and we were able to come in and showcase that. Now, the key is research. You got to start the 10,000 hour rule, guys, okay? You got to understand where to look, how to look. You need to train your eye to be able to see. I can see this pain point existing in this person here. You need to train your mind's eye to be able to scan everywhere you go subconsciously and understand where you can fill the gaps. Now, don't make any guesses. Your job is to know for sure. You must know for sure. If you're coming into the client with a guessing game mindset, you're not going to get very far. You're going to lose the deal and push forward the next yes that you need to get. Another no is just pushing your own success forward. You need to decide, I'm going to learn this, I'm going to master this, it's going to take me a period of time, but once it's in here, I have it forever. Now, over the years, as my offer and client avatar has evolved, I knew where to find these people online. I knew where they hung out. I knew where they spent time. I knew what newsletters they were subscribed to. I knew what channels they followed. I know what influencers or creators were in the space that they all kept up with. And I was able to loop myself in there to keep an ear to the ground always on what was going on. Now, you understand the outcome that your offer is going to create. You understand the client avatar and profile identified that you want to work with. Your job right now is to get eyeballs from them onto your offer. Listen, a good offer needs good eyeballs, okay? You understand that your offer is strong. You understand that who your exact client is. How can you get their eyeballs onto your offer to gain interest? This is where communication methods to the marketplace come in. How does this look? Outreach. Let me explain. Back years ago when I was doing this every single day, I created personalized outreach to 50 to 100 people per day, depending on how much time I was able to leverage throughout the day. For me, as I knew my client, I knew they were on Instagram and LinkedIn, and I was able to get my 7-figure psychological script to them that I'm going to give you right now. I would kindly greet the client by saying hello, something specific that I admired about them, And I would psychologically showcase, I can see an issue that's costing your business money, or that's costing your business said pain point or outcome. Then I would showcase we're competent, credible, and consistent enough to be able to achieve the exact outcome that I just highlighted. And I ask them, can I give you more info on how to solve this? Now, let's notice I was kind and attentive to them. I was able to highlight a problem that they very likely probably already knew was there. And I was able to showcase I am the solution. I'm not just coming to them with negative news, I'm highlighting that we can solve it for you. Then we offered to hop on a call, solve it for them verbally. Once on the call, I gave them the right information for them to solve the problem, and I let them know very kindly, if you want us to implement this, we're very happy to discuss a partnership. I would come on the call with every single piece of information I know. I would spend the first 15 minutes discovering all relevant information about the business, and then I would present them with the solutions that I knew from the outside looking in they needed. Understanding the key here was personalization. I understood after a while LinkedIn for me was just working amazing. We were actually getting one call booked in nearly every single day. For me, at this time, it was huge. Now, after some time, I was able to understand the time and efforts I was putting in here every single day were resulting in back-end growth for the business. I was able to understand my cost per acquisition, even though because it was just me at that time, it was just energy and efforts to go in. On the back end, I was collecting monthly recurring revenue from these ongoing partnerships. Before you know it, one day after a year or so, I woke up and there was 10 grand a month coming in to my business. Now, back then I knew consistency and personalization trumps volume. It was very black and white for me because I could see people, and I still see people today talking about you need to send 5,000 emails per day. In my head, I thought that was insane. I thought that was crazy. How could you send 5,000 emails per day with an outcome and not be already recouping crazy amounts of clients? For me, it felt like a huge waste of effort. Personalization for me worked every single time. Now, step 4. What does step 4 look like? The conversational sales process. You come on and you're able to actually ask the right questions and understand within a couple of minutes if this is a perfect fit or not. Are you able to deliver your mechanisms and services to create the outcome and solve the pain points that they so desire? This all comes down to asking the right questions. Now, a good friend of mine, his mentor, is a legit billionaire, and he passes on a message from him all the time that says, clarity will always be your superpower. So when I'm super clear on the outcome that I'm able to achieve, I can be super clear on asking the right questions to see if my offer slots into your business. Is this a mutually beneficial partnership on the horizon? Once I was able to determine if this was a yay or a nay from me, I decided to ask them, hey, can I bring you through how this all works? Can I bring you through more information on how we do this? Now, back then I used to hear things all the time. Adam, we've tried multiple freelancers or agencies or advertising guys before. It's never worked out. I can't afford it right now. Adam, I need to think about it first. Once I started hearing this, my mind went into a very logical state once again. How can I overwhelm this client with value emotionally and logically? How can I showcase I am going to be your number one asset in achieving your Northern Star? And how can I logically showcase that my service fee plus the outcome of the profitability that you're going to create is multiples and multiples? And because my offer was so clearly communicated throughout the whole process, the guarantee that stood in the middle made it a no-brainer. It was very logical. It became very black and white at the end. This is a mutually beneficial partnership from day one. My frame and mindset of all of these calls from the beginning was, I'm going to change this person's life. I'm going to make them dream again. I'm going to make them, just like Bob Proctor taught me to dream, I'm going to personally be such an asset to this company for the next couple of years that my delivery on communication right now is going to make it a complete no-brainer for them. Now, I also understood back then, these guys are taking a massive risk on someone with no credibility. I was an unproven entrepreneur back then, trying to get my business off the ground, trying to understand how to connect all the dots. My main struggle was just self-belief at the time. I had doubts screaming at me every single day, and my job was to not let anyone see or showcase to the client I am confident to achieve this outcome, which is why I started to offer results guaranteed. Daily reports, results guaranteed. I just needed the next couple of yeses, guys, to get myself on a true pathway of making this happen. I was activating the momentum I previously spoke about. That momentum was equaling a compound effect, and this served me ever to this day. I call this the Momentum Multiplier, aka activating the compound effect, which is one of the best books I've ever read, by the way. This is where my thinking brain became active again. I understood, okay, these clients are agreeing to work with me for 1,000, 2,000 euros per month back in Ireland. And I understood if I can work with them for 1 to 2 years, these guys are worth tens of thousands to me in my career path. Not, I just collected €1,000, I need to go get another €1,000. This belief never made sense to me, and I always wanted to nurture and work with a client for years rather than finishing a 2 or 3 month contract and parting ways. And after I had the first couple of yeses, I made these clients' case studies become so good. 8 years later, they still reach out to me every time I land back in Ireland. We have a great relationship, and they have referred me so many businesses over the years to do the exact same for them. I started to document everything, every ad variation, every style of campaign, every market research template I used. I started to document everything that I knew if when my next clients come, it's going to be faster and bigger and better once again. And what happened 90 days later? I had my first couple of case studies. I was able to now showcase other businesses in my local area back in Cork and Ireland. Hey, I helped this client achieve this in this time frame using my mechanisms. Now, a lot more people wanted to talk to me. I had my salary replaced and I was on track to make my first 10K per month. Next, I implemented a strategic referral system that I found during an edutainment session. More on that later. Educational entertainment is something I practice every single day, and I implemented a strategic referral system from my current clients to be able to get me more and more clients from that single one. Very simple. Who do you know that could also get these similar results for? I would simply speak to these clients and say, hey, is everything going good on achieving X and Y? And if they said yes, back to back, I would say, okay, who else can benefit from this same outcome? While also incentivizing them to make the referral so that their service charge, even though it was so little at the time, can come down and down and down. What happened next? I leveraged these case studies and testimonials to turn 2 clients into 5. This completely changed everything for me. Back then, my wildest imagination, my biggest and boldest dream at the time was replacing my 9-to-5 that I just got fired from my own service-based offer on a laptop. For me at the time, that was insanity. It wasn't even achievable, but it just happened. It just happened. For me, Adam, a person who I didn't even believe possible just a short few months previous. These are some great times looking back for me. So if you're feeling stuck right now, if you're in an unhappy professional career, let me give you a 90-day plan. Number 1, understand your core outcome that you can deliver. Build your whole entire vision around that outcome. For the next 2 weeks, spend 7 to 10 p.m. in the evening time learning as much as you physically can about this offer, about this outcome, about the mechanisms that are attached to the outcome. Master it. Begin mastery now. And mastery is a lifelong commitment. You might have heard me before talk about the rocket theory. You got to activate the rocket theory on your actual outcome that you're creating for clients. After this, you should understand your client identification. And next, how do you get eyeballs over to them? Now, side note, before you do this, guys, scan over your digital ID, scan over your social media presence. If you catch the attention with an amazing outcome and someone clicks on your profile and you're on there acting like an absolute idiot, are they going to commit to give you 30 minutes of their time to showcase if this is a good fit? Very likely not. So let's think and get this correct first. Delete any irrelevant content that we don't want clients to steer away from. Next, we're going to split your day into 2, 7 to 10, or the equivalent, however much time you can get in the morning to outreach, send messages, communicate, send emails, leverage the digital world or your local area/network, but get eyeballs on your offer. Get eyeballs on your offer for a 2 to 3 hour period of the day, ideally as early as possible. Next, you split your day into the second half. If you got to go live your everyday life in between, I understand that, but we're going to come back in the evening time and commit to the rocket theory of mastery again. You're going to spend more time searching, more time researching, more time getting better at delivering this outcome. Next, I need you to refine A to Z, the first POC, point of contact, that you speak to with a potential partner, with them paying you a monthly recurring fee to deliver this outcome. How does that look combined? You need to map it out. If you've got a gap, what do? Edutainment. You open up your laptop in the evening. You open up research mechanisms in the evening time to deliver that. Now, what are we looking for here? We're looking for your confidence to go out into the marketplace and be able to achieve the first case studies and testimonials. And number 2, we're looking for a KPI of replies. Every time you send 100, 200, 300 outbound messages, are you getting replies? Are they positive or negative? We're looking to cut the negative and expand the positive, because all we need is someone to book in or agree to meet with you so you can explain, you can deliver the outcome that you said, and it's go time from here, guys. Let me explain some hurdles you're going to have to overcome. Week 1 to 2, you're going to get major rejection. You're going to be excited and hyped up to get out the gate, but you're going to understand it's going to be major rejection. It's going to be no after no after no. We got to understand every no is one step closer to the yes. Step 2, shiny object syndrome. Remove it. You're going to start, because you're in this area of personal development or online business or expanding your professional career path, you're going to start to see more things. Another shiny object is going to come. Another guru is going to come, how to make 10K per month in 20 minutes. Stay on the same path you started. Commit to mastery long term. The third hurdle to overcome is the good hurdle. That is balance. Balancing taking meetings and onboarding clients or delivering results to also growing the business. This is your best hurdle. Number 3, the third hurdle is the win. Now, you only need 4 metrics to track right now. You need to understand number of outbound messages per day along with replies, number of meetings that you're booking day to day, week on week, number of clients that are showing up and agreeing to work with you on calls, and number 4, over delivering top to bottom in order to get your first case studies. Remember, it's not about the case studies, it's about confidence. Confidence creates conviction that you're able to deliver and speak for other people to buy into you in the future. Never get bogged down with vanity metrics, followers, reach, or anything like that. Don't compare yourself in the journey from chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 50. Let me share how this all came together and worked for me. After being fired for the 5th time in 2 years, after failing an apprenticeship, failing college, and failing secondary school, aka high school, I came home one day and opened up a laptop and said, how to find my own job. And I saw a video that allowed me to create a life of my dreams today. That video allowed me to kick into gear, understand I just needed a vehicle. At that specific time, I had no vehicle. When I was going into these different companies, I was begging for, I was hoping, I know I just got fired, but I was hoping the next job opportunity that comes my way, that's my vehicle. That's my forever industry. That's my forever vehicle. Sadly, it failed over and over again. So what did I do? Just like I explained, I spent so much time. I activated the 10,000 hour rule, learning how to create this outcome for every potential client that I was going to speak to. I now created a life of freedom that I could only imagine as a kid. Something I spent my whole life trying to find finally came to fruition. Something I couldn't even imagine back in the day. I used to find different career paths, different college courses. I could never find something to commit to. I had unfulfilled potential sitting with me 24/7, and I was starting to make me go crazy. I had to find something, and I'm so grateful that I did. Now, this pattern works every time. In the modern day world, we can leverage a lot more. We got AI. We can activate softwares that save 5 to 10 hours per day, the stuff that I used to do manually back then. There's ways to connect with people at a rapid scale and get your offer out there live into the marketplace within days. Once you commit to mastery and the work ethic to over-deliver for everyone who you work with, you can make it happen. Implementing these exact frameworks along with many other hurdles that you come by day to day, in time will guarantee your success comes to fruition. So here's what I want you to do right now. In an instant, you can make a decision. Just like that, when you make a decision, it shifts onto the frequency of everything that you desire. Once you create the vision, you make a shift. Now you gotta move into action immediately. Where you are and with what you have, you gotta start right now. Design the outcome that you're going to achieve for clients. Find 5 areas of research that you can commit to create mastery in time. Understand your client identification profile and craft the outbound message for you to start sending. What are you going to say and who are you going to say it to, and what are you going to help them achieve? Do not wait until you feel ready. You're never going to feel ready. Action now and start the momentum effect. Monumental compounding effects are the only way to find any win in any area of life. share your results below or send me a DM on social media that I can review and I can check out what you're up to and see if there's any way, shape or form I can possibly give value to speed up your success of launching and evolving your online service-based business. So guys, in the next video, in the next episode of the Actually series, I'm going to review back to back every single step you need to make your first 20K per month and start building the team that you can lean on and build your dreams together. So make sure you subscribe and don't miss the next and all the upcoming videos we have, because let me tell you something, they're going to be absolutely stacked with value and backed by factual data, not just theory, but practical step-by-step approach that you can actually implement to improve your life.